Open Your Eyes is brought to you by the Belize Bank, our country, your bank, and Smart, bringing people together.
Live from the GBM studios in Belize City, it's Open Your Eyes. Start your morning right with your hosts, Sabrina Daly and Paul Lopez.
Good morning and welcome to Open Your Eyes.
Start your morning right.
I'm Sabrina Daly.
And I'm Paul Lopez.
And good morning, Paul.
Good morning. It is Tuesday, February 24th, 2026.
Yes.
We're in the last week of February, the last week of the second month of the year, and it's good to have you back.
It is so good to be back. But before I get into all of the celebrations, I do want to give a special shout out to our TikTok viewers.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. They are locked in as usual. And I'm also happy to be back with them behind the scenes, guys. But you do know how it works. I have to turn things off over here. I want to give a special shout out to Miss Marlene Valenzuela. We were trying to pronounce her name correctly. We also have Miss Sonia Chan saying she's making fry jacks early this morning. So thank you guys. To you, we have S28 Dan saying good morning as well. I do have to turn things off over this side now. And also invite you guys over to YouTube or Facebook as well if you would like. It's been really fun engaging with our TikTok viewers. You know, they get to hear some of the behind the scenes conversations.
And the numbers keep growing.
And it does
Weekly,
too.
the numbers just keep going up. It surprises me, shows that we have people up early in the morning.
They said they're making breakfast.
On their phones. Like,
But
instead of like read a book.
Are you not on your phone when you wake up too?
When I wake up.
You know, log in on TikTok and scroll a little bit?
Guilty as charged.
It's not novel.
Yeah, it isn't.
It really is.
But how are you doing? You've been absent for about a week. I understand you contracted the dengue fever.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, that's it.
Guys.
Yeah. How did you make do?
All right, so I was telling those guys on TikTok that I feel like the last time I really got sick was probably when I had COVID-19, maybe 4 or so years ago. So I've been really pushing through. I've been, you know, consistently trying to stay healthy, keeping my immune system up, and it took a fly.
Yeah.
It took a mosquito, guys, to knock me down off my foot, and really it did. Last week, you would know that I was severely under the weather. I came here on Tuesday and I couldn't even finish the show. Paul, as you saw, really engaged most of the conversations beyond the first one that we had. I explained to you guys that I had severe headaches. I also had kind of like soreness of the eyes. I had fevers. I had chills. So, I also told them that it started with cold sweating. At that time, I didn't even know that it was cold sweating.
So what would be your number one advice for somebody who contracts the dengue fever, right?
Yeah.
What would be your number one advice to kind of, one, endure the process, and two, get recover as quick as possible? What would be your advice?
That's the thing. I learned that dengue is one of those sicknesses that there's no like special treatment for it. You just have to treat the symptoms. And so that was my first shocker. When I went to see my doctor, she told me you have to rest. Literally just rest and hydrate. She said whatever amount of water you drink normally, drink double that. And I told her, okay, can I at least go for my work laptop? I even asked her if I could go to the gym on Sunday. She watched me dead in my face and said, did you not hear what I just told you? And for me, that was very hard to do because I'm not used to just like laying in my bed and doing absolutely nothing. I stay at home a lot, but I stay at home and do things, you know. I'll be doing the laundry, cleaning my fridge, organizing my closet. Yeah, and so even those small tasks put a lot of pressure on my body. So as I said, I would be at home, but still running around doing things in the house. And I found myself having to, like, if I'm folding clothes, I would have to pause halfway through and just like lie down a little bit because I felt really tired or my body felt weak. But the headaches were the worst. And I just want to say, for who probably knew that dengue and never said nothing, y'all fake. Y'all fake for that. Say it in the comments next time. Send me earlier to the doctor.
I'll give them a pass because, well, what they saw versus what you were explaining, right? You were still trying to figure it out.
I was fighting for my life.
Right.
I was fighting for my life.
I think that fake could be turned towards me because I saw and it was evident. I experienced.
So you thought you had dengue before, Paul?
No, but then I didn't know what it was. I just knew you were severely sick, and there were things that crossed my mind.
Like what?
Like COVID, for example, right? But that wasn't the case. But it lasted for about a week, and I'm glad to see you're back and you're healthy, back in the saddle. That's a good thing, and we're happy for you.
I texted Paul last night and said I'm back on the saddle, and he was like, "Oh God, so fake." But Paul, I am excited to be back nonetheless, and we do have some topics to jump into. I know there's been some great conversations taking place through the past, the end of the week into the start of this week. There's been a lot taking place in the region, our neighbors close by as well in Mexico. And so let's jump into some of the conversations first that we have lined up for you guys tuning in, and then we can go into some of the hot topics as well. All right, so the first conversation this morning will be, if the river hasn't moved, why has the Ruta Maya route moved? Interesting question. Then, celebrating legacy with the Baron Bliss Harbour Regatta. Also, OW Ballaz take Belizean basketball talent to Mexico. And lastly, or finally, staying connected with Smart's Trio phone plan.
All right, so that's a very diverse lineup of conversation. I'm really looking forward to the first one. I know we're going to have folks from the association, the Bliss Canoe Association, joining us to kind of ventilate further the issues and the concerns raised regarding the Ruta Maya route change, a proposed change. But before we get into all of that, we have a few topics we want to delve into and discuss briefly. First of all, the Ministry of Immigration provides some clarification on a border processing incident. We'll speak about that. Secondly, Independence Rebel, the Senate meeting scrapped. We're going to talk about that. Third, who was 𝐁𝐚𝐫𝐿? What does drug lords killing mean for Mexico? Also, 𝐁𝐴𝐿 meet up with romantic partner, revealed drug lord's location. So it appears as if the cartel's boss meet up with a romantic partner, a woman, revealed his location through some intelligence, and that's where Mexican authorities were able to pin him down, or how they were able to pin him down. And last but not least, another international conversation. Outrage after racist slur by a man with Tourette's interrupt BAFTA awards. We're also going to talk about that. Sabrina?
Yeah, I know the last one was outrageous. I saw the clip. That's definitely trending right now. Just the reaction from those persons on the stage as well. But let's take things a little bit a little bit local first, and then we can go into the broader topics if we have some time. I know today is Senate meeting.
Supposed to be.
Well, it was supposed to be, but there has been, you would know, Paul, because you have to document and try to extract information from these various meetings that would be in the National Assembly, including the Senate meeting as well. And they've been online for quite some time, but with good reason. You would know that the National Assembly building was at that time being refurbished, under construction. And then there was the big reveal, which was exciting for a lot of us, also being able to document that. We also saw the House of Representatives being held there. But the Senate meeting has not really gone back there as yet, yes?
Well, we haven't seen a Senate meeting inside the newly renovated National Assembly building. I think you said that the Senate or the National or the House, they've been online. Just a slight correction, they haven't been online. In fact,
no, I didn't say the House was online. They went back to in person.
Oh yes, so they went
Yes.
back to in person, correct. So what we saw was that while the National Assembly building was being renovated, we saw that the meetings were being held at the George Price Center, correct? And so there's an interesting development recently where the Senate, for their first meeting of this year, I believe, they held it online. They held it virtually. And we understand that that virtual meeting was held online to sort of test the waters as to how a virtual meeting would be held, to kind of show the progressive direction that the House, to show the progressive direction that the Senate and the National Assembly, in a sense, is moving towards. However, there was a proposal to host the second and a second Senate meeting virtually. And coming out of that first Senate meeting virtually, there were a lot of concerns and a lot of complaints and a lot of improvements that were needed and some evident flaws. One, for example, the quality of the videos that were being portrayed and rebroadcasted on television and YouTube and social media. It was poor. It was poor quality.
Did it look kind of like a Zoom call to
It
you,
looked
Paul?
like a
'Cause to
Zoom
me, it looked
call.
like a Zoom
Listen,
call.
there was one instance where live in the Senate meeting, I saw a pop-up message. You know how messages pop up on Zoom where one of the senators mentioned, are you hearing me? Right? And I understand you want to know if somebody is hearing you. That's all a part of this landscape. But to me, it caught me off guard.
Yeah.
And it felt a bit unprofessional to see that sort of interaction taking place. I think I saw a couple of those instances where messages were being sent and communication, and it was all taking place live while a senator was speaking on a matter of national importance, was dealing with the people's business. So how do you deal with the people's business and such an important issue? Then at the same time, as a viewer, while you're listening and watching, you get distracted because a message pops up where somebody is trying to deal with something technical and some would perhaps even say trivial, right? So those two things in your face. So the quality of the video was poor. And I'm not knocking down the initiative because this is the direction that we want to move in, but in instances when there are emergencies, in instances when, let's say, for example, there's a natural disaster and the Senate needs to meet, but they can't meet in person. Well, this is an event like this where there is a health emergency and the Senate cannot meet in person. This is a great way for them to still meet and get the people's business done. But the first try showed that there is a lot of technical issues that needs to be worked out. Secondly, the challenge that I understand the independent senators, or the issue that they took with this second virtual meeting proposal, is that we just finished invest close to $6 million in renovating this beautiful National Assembly building. And essentially we just say, let's take another stab at that low quality virtual meeting when we have this entire building here that's beautiful, that we've invested a lot of money in.
They want Chris in the building too.
Right. No, well, I guess part of it, they want Chris in the building, but part of it is also, let's start to put this money to use. What we've invested, let's hold our Senate meeting inside the National Assembly building. And so 4 senators, the independent senators, they raised objections to the meeting being held virtually, and they decided that they would seek out the approval of the clerk, National Assembly clerk, to, even though the meeting would be held virtually, to attend the virtual meeting from inside the National Assembly chambers, sort of like we'll be in Belmopan, but kind of like a protest. I see it as somewhat of a protest to the virtual meeting to say, well, we are done that at Belmopan, so might as well we just attend. And they received approval, so the clerk gave them approval to attend. But lo and behold, the meeting was cancelled. The Senate meeting was cancelled, and in speaking with the church senator yesterday, he informed us that they caught him by surprise. They caught all of them by surprise because they did not expect the Senate meeting to be cancelled even after they decided that they would attend a virtual meeting, but while inside the National Assembly chambers. I have to question like the rationale behind it, and I have to ask if this was being done to accommodate somebody. Is it that somebody is not in country? And is it that that person wants to attend and so they're kind of bending over backwards for an individual or two? I don't know. I don't understand what the rationale was behind it. And so it's lost on me as well as to why they wanted to hold this Senate meeting virtually when we have this beautiful space that the House met in, the House of Representatives met in a couple weeks back, and it's only a short while after. Why can't the Senate also meet inside the National Assembly building? I still don't get it. So the meeting is cancelled, and I suspect that the next time they bring up this conversation about the Senate meeting, that it will likely be held inside the National Assembly. Then people got so comfortable chair, no,
yes, man.
AC, the pump, lighting, beautiful. The people now have to get subjected to that sort of low quality conversation being, well, the conversation not low quality, but the display. The broadcast is
I'm
low
thinking
quality.
even for the viewer's experience as well, as you're seeing on screen, that's what the Senate meeting looks like.
That's what it looked like virtually.
Versus what we were accustomed to in the past. I mean, I know, as I mentioned, Paul, you in several cases would have to go and watch the Senate meeting to extract information that's most important to share on the news. But what is it like for you, even just sitting in and watching it, as we call it, kind of like a Zoom session? And I also question other viewers like myself who would be watching it. It almost feels kind of boring, you know, because you want a better visual experience. It kind of forces you to just have it playing, and then you kind of move around and be busy, because
we don't have to labor through it while they're in person, because for a lot of people, they're not really interested in what's taking place in the National Assembly, albeit they should be interested. But doing it virtually kind of makes it even less interesting and less engaging than when they're in person. So that's something you definitely have to consider. And I know the world is moving in that direction, but this is my personal view and my humble opinion that not everything has to be online.
Yeah.
We don't have to do everything online. Certain things are traditionally and culturally and even it required, in my view, to be in person. It takes away from the quality and the impact of these sort of meetings if we just hold it all online. So certain things, in my view, supposed to be in person always, unless there's an emergency, and the Senate and the House meetings fall in that list.
Yeah. All right. Well, moving things along, I know that there is a lot of attention right now, Paul, on Mexico and what is taking place in our neighboring country. There has been several instances where we've seen news outlets, both locally there and internationally, document some of the areas in parts of Mexico that has been experiencing, or that we have been seeing people have concerns about their safety regarding vandalism, regarding lighting vehicles on fire, regarding breaking into certain establishments. As you can see there on screen, this looks like perhaps a shopping mall where people are evacuating, fleeing. And I know that for us here in Belize, there's a lot of concern, right? One, we have our borders. I think about persons who have been using the road of Mexico as transit for their work. As well, I believe you have car dealers who make that type of work their livelihood. I can't imagine what they're experiencing, the type of fare that they have right now, especially if they're close by in these areas that are most affected. But there's been a recent release from the Ministry of Immigration regarding border processing and an incident that took place.
Yeah, so that's a separate situation. Let's touch on the Mexico thing first. Just to say that there's a couple concerns coming out of this situation for me, but yesterday more details were revealed as to the operation. And what I found really interesting was that the Mexican military officials, they explained yesterday that a trusted associate of 𝐁𝐚𝐫𝐸's lover was part and parcel of the operation, which led to uncovering his location.
Yeah.
Right. So 𝐁𝐴, according to Mexican authorities, was going and went to meet up with a lover, with an intimate partner, and that is pretty much the foundation of how this operation unraveled, that led to the discovery of his location, and they initially went in to detain him. However, there was essentially like a fire. The 𝐁𝐴's military forces, or his security guards, fired upon Mexican military forces. So there was a back and forth in terms of armed forces, and then 𝐁𝐴 was injured in that process. But I'm thinking here that no matter how high you are in power and how high you are in authority,
It really could take just a woman.
It could really take just a woman to
The young people would say
lead
the
to your
women last
downfall, right? And so you don't need like this great elaborate strategy in many cases to take down a powerful head of a powerful global or regional organization. Sometimes all you need is to throw a lover in the mix. And
the seduction of a woman.
Of course, and I'm being kind of trivial with a very serious topic, but that is what it boiled down to. And they were able to discover his location because this great powerful figure has human needs, has a need to be loved, and to have some level of affection in his life. And it is true that these armed forces were able to take him down. And so perhaps it's a lesson for all of us men out there as to how to move and how to navigate our lives where certain of these situations are concerned. And we're definitely all not wanted, and we're all not criminals, but there's an important lesson that history will record where this is concerned. But I'm also concerned about the rival opportunism that could take place as a result of 𝐁𝐴's death, in that you have cartels operating within Mexico that could see this as an opportunity to take over areas that the cartel that he led controlled, right? And they were operating in at least 28 of the 30-plus states in Mexico. And so I think the situation will remain volatile for some time in Mexico. I know that in Belize, you have people that already have Easter trips to Mexico that are being canceled. But I also know a friend personally who told me that he's still going. He will not let his money go to waste. He's already booked, he's already paid, and if he asks for a refund, he will only get a small percentage of what his deposit he's made. So he says he's still going, and he and some of their friends, his friends, are still going to Mexico. But I think it will allay a lot of Easter trips for Belizeans traveling. Belizeans traveling to, and summer trips. And then I also think, and I think April and Isana touched on it yesterday, the FIFA World Cup which is also being hosted in part in Mexico, certain parts of Mexico. In fact, some of the more some of the violence that have erupted are in some of the areas where games are actually going to be held and hosted. And so those are some of the things I'm thinking about, because Belizeans are also planning and have already bought tickets to attend FIFA World Cup matches in Mexico.
Yeah, well, ultimately, I know still though there are several persons who, especially in the northernmost part of Belize, they want to know that they can feel some sense of safety. I think of people who live in Corozal, who at this time might be concerned about the borders there as well. I know that we heard directly from the ambassador in Mexico. That's Mr. Oscar Arnold. He spoke about measures that are being taken. I know that there are some students currently studying in Mexico too, some Belizean students, and I believe he said that they also reached out to them to ensure their safety as well.
Yeah.
But I want to move things over to the Ministry of Immigration, a release that was issued yesterday regarding a clarification on border processing. I know that, and forgive me for my mix-up there, I know that this is also something separate that is also taking place where border control is concerned. So, of course, their release starts off by issuing condolences to the family of Mr. Nassar Senor Reyes upon his untimely passing. And then it goes into detail talking about the other relations.
Yeah. So let's just get our viewers up to date with what happened there. The Nassar Reyes, he's a cancer patient, and he's been receiving treatment in Honduras since January 20th. And over the weekend, his family organized an ambulance from Honduras to transport him back to Belize so that he could continue his treatment and receive medical care here in Belize. However, upon arrival at the Belize-Guatemala border, the western border, reports initially stated, and these are reports that are being widely circulated across several social media platforms, that the authorities at the border prevented the ambulance, the Honduran ambulance or the Honduras ambulance, from entering Belize. And the situation for Mr. Reyes was so dire that he passed away inside the ambulance at the border. And so, of course, the criticism came in piling up, leaps and bounds, and the people were heavily criticizing the immigration department, saying that discretionary measures should have been applied in this case. And so now the immigration department is coming out to essentially defend themselves, to offer what they say some clarity to the situation. One of the things that they revealed is that the ambulance was carrying 2 Honduran nationals, Mr. Reyes and 2 of his family members. The immigration department is saying that they processed the 2 of Mr. Reyes' family members because they're Belizeans, but when they went to process the Honduran nationals, they only had their national cards. They did not have passports. And so there was an issue there, whereas they couldn't be processed. And so what they're saying is that still they decided, because of the emergency that was at hand, they decided that what they would do is let them through once the ambulance is cleared, once they check the ambulance and they do certain checks on the vehicle, right? And then they also said that also an ambulance from Benque was contacted, and then that ambulance was on its way to kind of meet up with the Honduras ambulance at the border. However, when the ambulance from Benque got to the border and they checked on Mr. Reyes, they found that he had already passed away, right? So they're trying to provide some clarity as to what really happened here. But I'm thinking that why still wait for the vehicle to be checked and processed? And I understand there's standards at the immigration. If this is such an emergency, if this person's health is so critical that he would eventually pass away right at the border, Why you're saying, all right, we'll let them through, but still you have to wait.
Yeah.
Right?
Perhaps there could be like an expedited avenue for first responders, you know?
Right, and so these are the sort of things they'll have to look into and they'll have to improve on at these border crossings, especially when you're dealing with medical emergencies. Couldn't there have been an escort? You know, so an immigration officer that says, all right, we trust that you are doing what you're doing, let's escort you. Or So yeah, it's just one of those situations, and so it's one of the things we're looking into, and we'll follow up on it today.
All right. Well, we do have to close this portion of the conversation off. We want to thank everyone who has been engaging in the comment section. Unfortunately, we are out of time and we have to jump into our first break. But Paul, we have been talking about it all across the country. I know there are people who are very into the La Ruta Maya River Challenge, and they want to know, you know, they've been sharing their thoughts online. We're going to be pulling up some of those thoughts a little bit later on in the conversation. Actually, let's go to it right now. This was a poll that we had on our social media page, and the question is, do you support the decision to change the La Ruta Maya route? Remember the route, Paul? We've been talking about the new ending point. So there are a couple people who said yes, change is necessary, but a resounding no has also been expressed. There's been people saying no, keep the traditional route. There's also been one person saying only if it's for safety reasons. Then of course there are some people who said they need more information on the situation before deciding. Well, good news, because we're going to be dissecting that conversation in our after the first break coming up right now. And so whatever question you have regarding this new route, if you are one of those avid watchers and you want to keep the status quo, or if you just want to understand why the change, we're going to find out why when we come back.
In the heart of the 𝐁𝐚𝐫𝐿 district, 𝐁𝐚𝐫𝐿 is proving that sustainability and success can go hand in hand.
When 𝐁𝐚𝐫𝐿 wanted to move to solar energy, the biggest difficulty for us was the finance. Belize Bank believed in our vision, and we are very happy and grateful that they gave us this opportunity for the financing.
Through the Credit Risk Abatement Facility, a partnership between Belize Bank and the CARICOM Development Fund, small and medium businesses can access financing for renewable and energy-efficient solutions with reduced collateral requirements.
Here at SCSB, we're grateful for Belize Bank to make it easier for our clients to go green. We're proud to work with businesses like 𝐁𝐚𝐫𝐿 to help them lower their costs and their carbon footprint.
At Belize Bank, we are powering Belize's transition to renewable energy, one business at a time. Together with our partners, we're making sustainable financing accessible for all.
Belize Bank, financing a greener, stronger Belize.
February is all about Honda. Get special pricing and discounts on all Honda products. Enjoy up to 25% off select Honda products and 20% off Honda parts. Don't forget your B-Bucks whenever you make a purchase. Love your Honda. It's all about deals and discounts on Honda products throughout the month of February. Only at Benquit Equipment Parts Service.
This is how we do it.
This weekend, the NEBL moves into week 2 with a fully loaded weekend of games. On Friday night, the Belmopan Trojans goes up against the San Pedro Tiger Sharks at the UB Gymnasium. Then on Saturday night, the Cayo Western Ballers play host to the Belize City Defenders in a big home game at the Victor Galvez Stadium. The NEBL dancers will be performing live. And in Orange Walk, the Running Rebels look to defend their home court against the 𝐁𝐚𝐫𝐬𝐬 Ballers. Live performance by Yastalia. Giveaways all night. Plus, at the end of the first and third quarter, fans will get a chance to win cell phones, TVs, plus more. And at halftime, the big $5,000 cash. Ministry of Tourism, Youth, Sports and Diaspora Relations Shooting Challenge. So this weekend, make your weekend an NEBL weekend sponsored by the government of Belize.
Because the public has a right to know. And once the public has a right to know, journalists have a duty to tell.
The public has a right to know how much money Jules Vasquez's station raked in from government advertising under the UDP administration. So we have a duty to tell. That figure went from 25,000 in 2008 to 195,000 in 2010 to 230,000 in 2011 to 269,000 in 2012 to 296,000 in 2013, 256,000 in 2014, 130,000 in 2015, 165,000 in 2016, 168,000 in 2017, 149,000 in 2018, and 186,000 in 2019, a total of more than 2 million in 10 years. Under the new administration since 2020, the figure went down to a reasonable 37,000. Is this why Jules is so enraged and losing his temper these days? It's all adding up.
Welcome back. Thanks for staying tuned with us. This is our first conversation for this morning, and this one is all about the La Ruta Maya Belize River Challenge, the upcoming event, and the discussions surrounding the proposed change in the route, specifically the fourth leg. There have been conversations about moving it from inside Belize City to the exterior, specifically the Harbour Creek Bridge, more specifically near the Grand Resort. And there's been a lot of mixed feelings about it and mixed conversations. Even we saw online with the poll that we took. And so we have joining us on set this morning the Vice President of the Belize Canoe Association, Mr. Elvin Penner. And he is joined on set by a member of the Black Orchid Resort team, Mr. Carlos Linares, who's been participating in the challenge for the past 13 years. And then we have joining us virtually co-founder of the La Ruta Maya Belize River Challenge, Mr. Luis Garcia. And he'll join us on screen as soon as they get him into the conversation. But gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It's a pleasure having both of you on set.
It's a great pleasure to be here.
Now, the day we learned of, personally here at the studio and at this company, the day we learned about the proposed change was when we reached out to one of the committee members to get an understanding of what this year's race would be like. And the committee member, Mr. Roberto Harrison, informed us, among other things, that there are discussions being held to change the route. And since then, it seems as if a lot of people have come out to express their discontent with this proposed change. We've seen the conversation go from boardrooms to street talk. It's been all over. And one of the voices that has weighed in on the conversation is yourself, Mr. Penner, as the Vice President of the Belize Canoe Association. Let's first start there. What is your position on the proposed change?
Before I will express my position, which I believe I've expressed in several occasions with regards to on social media, I would like to thank Channel 5, and especially you, Paul. Paul, right? Mm-hmm. That you started this storm. Per se.
Storm.
It is a social media storm. Mm-hmm. The whole topic took social media by storm, especially those people who have a vested interest in the race. So thank you for bringing it to light, because that was the first time I ever heard about a change of route. So thank you very much for having done that. And hence we are here this morning because we wanted to make sure we would give Channel 5 the first privilege to host us to further the conversation. Because this conversation, although the decision has been made, according to the morning show yesterday on Love FM, it's final.
That's what you heard them
that's
say?
what they said.
Okay, I missed that.
That will not change our fight, I should say, with regards to getting the representation of the paddlers, the sponsors of the teams, and the fans back into this race to where they belong. Yeah. The race started and it was all about them, but it has become about other things. But I wrote on a few notes because it's very important for us to have the facts straight as well.
Go ahead.
A lot of people on a day-to-day basis when it comes to Ruta Maya, close to Ruta Maya time, first of all, the race is not Belican or Ruta Maya. That is, if anything boils my blood, that boils my blood.
Why?
Our company, I can guarantee you, has spent 5 times more in the race La Ruta Maya Belize River Challenge than Belican has, yet they name it after Belican. So that was a change that I don't think saw a lot of attention out there, but a lot of people don't like it because the race started out as La Ruta Maya Belize River Challenge, and there is a specific meaning behind that race. It's very historical behind the name, very historical. But I want to let the public know that we, the Belize Canoe Association, have 0 input in the race, which is La Ruta Maya, 0. They claim they consult with us, they claim they dialogue with us, which they only do if they're in trouble, if there's a protest. And all of a sudden they need our input because we have been always been active on representing the paddlers. So if they have an issue with the race, who will they come to? The entity that has always represented them. That's when they come. But when we as the Canoe Association advise them on how they should do certain things to improve the race, they don't want to hear it. And this is one of those instances. I think it's the saddest mistake the Ruta Maya Committee has ever made by making this change for reasons that they have presented that I know I say it how it is, but it is pure bull. Yeah. It's pure bull.
I want to quickly pause and go to the titling of the river challenge that you spoke of. You said the Belican La Ruta Maya Challenge. My understanding is that they would have named sponsors depending on what they contribute. In this case, it would be Bowen. Right. Was this made clear to you guys?
I don't think any of the paddlers or any other sponsors were ever consulted, and I'm almost sure they were not consulted when this change came about. But Belican perhaps was the sponsor that gave them the most gain from all the sponsors. So tying it with Belican and Ruta Maya will give them the edge to get even more financial contribution from Belican.
Well, this is a part of the nature of this whole thing, of these sort of events. If I could push back a little bit,
branding.
just to say that this is how branding works, right? So essentially, one could argue that Belican is in essence, and one could argue, right, an innocent player in this, in that it is their brand that is being associated with it as one of the main and primary sponsors, right? And so arguing names to some, whether it's Belican, La Ruta Maya, or the La Ruta Maya Belize River Challenge, is inconsequential as much and not as consequential as the decision makers and the sort of decisions that they're making in context of this entire conversation.
Well, if we were to take out a page of the professional leagues, Super Bowl, for instance, the championships of the American football, no matter how much Budweiser sponsors, they will never call it the Budweiser Super Bowl or whatever else. Super Bowl is by itself, that entity, NFL is by itself, the trademark that they have to have up front, and they cannot change it. But what they could have done here, what they do in those kind of events is Budweiser becomes the beer of the NFL. Ford could become the vehicle of La Ruta Maya. Belican could have become the beer
I think
of the Ruta Maya.
I honestly think that's just a matter of how you want to phrase it, right? We could move on from this because, for example, in basketball, there's a Kia halftime challenge, right? So the name and the brand is directly associated with a portion and a part of it. But I get what you're saying, because traditionally for some people, names hold a significant meaning. And for some people, if we're saying it started as the Belize River Challenge, then let's keep it that way. So I hear what you're saying from that perspective.
And I want to quickly bring in now in the conversation Mr. Garcia, because you spoke, Paul, of where it started, right? And we have Mr. Luis Garcia joining us virtually. He is one of the co-founders of the La Ruta Maya Belize River Challenge. Good morning, Mr. Garcia. Thank you so much for joining us.
Your mic, maybe your mic is muted. No, is your mic? All right, there you go.
All right.
No. Okay, good morning.
Yes.
Good morning. Now, I know that you were tuned in with us earlier, Mr. Garcia. And so as we start the conversation, being a part of the founding body of the La Ruta Maya Belize River Challenge, what does this conversation mean to you at this point when we think of the identity that the River Challenge has and the position now that it finds itself in experiencing this type of change?
I'll be very brief with you. The Ruta Maya canoe race started in a meeting at the Big H office with Orlando and Richard Harrison, where they were trying to launch, where they were launching their Vida purified water. That was in 1997, the first discussion that started. I was organizing canoe racings in the Cayo district, Mopan and the Macal River, and into the Belize River. And we were doing canoe racing and cleanup campaigns and getting the communities involved. And when I was called to the meeting, we sat down there and we discussed what about launching the Vida purified water with a canoe race. Richard said, I'd like to finish the race in Belize City. And I said, he offered to expand our races to become a bigger race with their brand. And I said, well, that sounds wonderful, let's do it. And then I said, but there is a component of our activities that I would like to bring into the Ruta Maya. Well, at that time, it wasn't even the name Ruta Maya. And I said, I'd like to bring in the environmental aspect of it, because that's the reason why we participate in the river. I like to bring in the cultural aspect, which we always bring out with the communities. And then hopefully we can develop a tourism product in this area, or expand the tourism product that was already in the Macal River and expand it to the Mopan and Belize River. And that was what the pillars became for the Ruta Maya. So we started targeting the communities to get involved. I invited all our participants that participated from 1995 to 1997 with our events. And they said, yeah, we would love it, but let's keep the environment, let's get communities involved. And that was the big event, was to get the communities involved, to promote their culture, to look at the environmental impact of the activity, human impact on the river, the negative and the positive, and how can we work together with the communities, with the local governments, and actually target these areas to make it better. So that was the reason why we all joined, or a lot of us at the beginning joined. For the first, second, and third years, we were still planting a lot of trees on the riverbanks. We were doing a lot of poster contests with the villages that live right on the riverbank and the schools. And then the communities started feeling they were being left out, because they were offered a lot by the organizers at the time of the event. They were being left out, and they said, well, there has to be something that communities must gain out of this race. And the only thing they could see was doing shingding parties to be able to raise funds, and they really, the event didn't promote anything else. And so the communities felt left out. The participants at the time started being left out. The race became a canoe race, and that is how it actually grew to what it is now. But the whole aspect of the pillars of the race have pretty much died out.
No, Mr. Penner, you were making some points, and I just want to continue to give you that opportunity to quickly go back and go through the couple other points that you have.
Yes, one point I always make is, like I said before I started off by saying that the Belize Canoe Association, although we're the official body, officially recognized internationally, affiliated internationally, to represent water sports, canoeing, kayaking, paddleboarding, we have nothing to do with the Ruta Maya, except our role is always and has always been to defend the paddlers, to look at the paddlers' interests, because we actually have a democratic election for our membership, for our executive members. We have members who paddle our races who become members that can vote in these elections, so we owe that to our members. And we have all intentions at our next race, which is this coming Saturday. I hope you guys can be there from Pearl Boom to Bliss City, and we will finish it at Belcan Bridge. It's not going to be finishing anywhere else. To come and witness that very exciting race, which is the most exciting race prior to La Ruta Maya. But we intend to go to our membership after that race and get a feedback from them. Probably even do a voting per se. How do you feel about this? And we will address other points. We intend to address other points that have been brought up because of this outcry now. The paddlers are finally speaking. The paddlers are finally hearing, letting their voice hear, not because they necessarily have a hope that the Ruta Maya committee will change anything based on what they say, but they're sick and tired of being taken advantage of being abused and not getting the credit. So I want to distance the Belize Canoe Association again from La Ruta Maya committee.
All right.
And the organization that runs the committee, because we do not have a grain of rice in this rice and beans, except the paddlers that we are not just gladly to represent, we are obligated to represent our paddlers because they elect us every year to serve as their executive.
Speaking of paddlers, we have Mr. Linares on set with us. Mr. Linares, what has been your position on this proposed change, and as somebody that has participated in the challenge for the past 13 years?
Well, it's very disappointed, you know, that the paddlers are being ignored. Like, for many years, like, they've been changing several things, and like, I think this is the only year that the paddlers and everyone are standing up, you know, and voicing their opinions and stuff. But like I said, it's very disappointed that they're just ignoring us, you know, and just like doing their own decisions. Like, we don't have any voice, and it's us paddlers that make this race happen, you know. Like, without us, there wouldn't be any Ruta Maya.
Help me understand this, Mr. Linares, from the paddler's perspective, because on the surface, we hear that the route is being essentially cut short from Belize City to the point that we mentioned by Grand Resort. For me, I understand that to be shorter, which I would think is less challenging, is easier on you guys. I think where it would get perhaps more frustrating is perhaps from the viewer's experience and maybe vending. But for you as a paddler, why was this something that you guys did not accept?
Okay, like for example, the record for La Ruta Maya, Belize Bank holds it, right? So like if they're changing it, then we won't be able to try to break that record, you know, so that automatically that dies there, you know, everything else change. And like nobody, like us, the paddler, we find it more difficult paddling in through the channel.
Okay.
But that's where all the excitement is. Like for example, last year you saw us, my team, and 𝐁𝐴𝐽 battling, and you know, that's where everything changed, you know. And then that's where all the excitement is, because everyone, like especially the fans, you know, like they're waiting to see who comes out first, you know. And so I mean, they're taking away all the fun.
What about safety concerns? Are there any safety concerns where the estuary is concerned, where the river meets the sea?
Okay, yeah. So, well, for me, it's safer to paddle to Belize City than finishing it there, because like, especially when they have high tide or low tide, like there's a lot of current there, backwater, you know, and for me, it's not safe. It's safer paddling all the way to Belize Gated and ending it there.
I want to bring back Mr. Garcia into the conversation. You mentioned at the end of your comments that a lot of the foundational aspects have died. Are you aware if certain environmental aspects are still alive? We know that back in the days, for example, there are a lot of environmental clubs that took the lead in promoting the sort of environmental initiatives that the race pushed. And are you aware if that is still ongoing?
Well, unfortunately, no. A lot of environmental groups from universities, from high schools, have always pushed themselves to be out there, and some of them have been doing it independently, not even with a sanction or even with a thumbs up from the race itself. I understand that for this year they have hired a private company to do the cleanup campaign of the camps and the route system. Now, I think that should have been kept, or supporting the environmental groups, especially the youth environmental groups, the scouts, the universities, the schools, and I understand as of last week that it was given as a contract to a company. So again, it removes that community aspect, it removes that participating aspect. It really is removing the history, culture, environment, and the want to support of the communities into a corporate event, which is what it has happened. So, I mean, we're angry about it, but if the race has turned into a corporate event, there's not much we can do, but it will actually lie on the hands of the paddlers who participate in the event and the team sponsors.
Mr. Penner, what would you say will happen if, well, not if, when construction actually begins on the Belcan Bridge, which is scheduled to begin in short order? The race won't be able to end in that area anymore. How would you propose they go around this? Wouldn't it require a change in route?
It could require a minor change in route. It happened before when the city center was under construction, where they finished right before or at the swing bridge by Batamdala. Not as convenient as the city center, but that is only a couple hundred yards, if maybe a quarter of a mile longer, which doesn't affect the funds that come out as much as moving it all the way out to the Grand Resort. But there are other places. Look at 𝐁𝐚𝐫𝐬 Bridge. You have Universal parking lot. You have West Truck parking lot. They have all been a part of this race in the past. You have the big office complex building there, the new building going from here towards Hattieville on the right-hand side. Then you have some big parking area there that I believe is supposed to have been and probably still supposed to be designated as the National Bus Terminal or something. There is, I would want to safely say, 10 times more space, open space, at the 𝐁𝐚𝐫𝐬 Bridge and the surrounding areas than there is at the Grand Resort. We just passed there just to see a little bit in person on what's happening there. It is technically impossible for half of the fans to be able to stand along that river edge and enjoy the race. Coming out of the water will be difficult. The current there will be difficult. The traffic on the Haliver Bridge, how can you stop that? It's going to be difficult. If you close off something like 𝐁𝐚𝐫𝐬 Bridge or Belcan Bridge, then you have the whole surrounding area there that is very safe. So them using security measures as a reason to change it, that is baloney. We could go with the part of the construction.
Right.
But why?
Which is one of the explanations
that was the explanation after the paddlers started making noise, because they didn't buy the safety issue. Because it's way more hazardous to finish it at the Grand Resort than it could ever be finishing at City Center. When they came up with the idea, or they said, okay, it's too open. Why it's too open? Because you cannot charge persons from coming in. So you don't have control. So the reasons for them changing it there, to me, and to most of the paddlers, seems to be purely a money thing. So obviously money is now more important than the paddlers, the sponsors, and the fans, which I'm not trying to say they're not supposed to raise funds. It takes funds to pull off a race of that magnitude. A lot of funds. Just the sponsorship of a team. I won't say how much is the most we've ever spent as a company, but on an average, we probably spend $25,000 on a team. It is not a cheap sport, but having done so well, and I'm talking about Coupe Sheet Metal, having done so well, winning the race several times, winning almost every single category that there is to win, it did a lot of name branding for us. Right. We got our money's worth out of it. But if you have a team and you're just getting into this race and your team is not in the top 10, you as a sponsor won't get much mention.
What I hear you saying, Mr. Linares, is that the paddlers would have wanted to be a part of the conversation, would have wanted to be consulted.
Yes, like I said, I mean, we're the reason why La Ruta Maya happens, right? Like, without us, there wouldn't be any race. So, I mean, like, you're leaving us out of this and just, like, doing their own decision, you know? Like, deciding what's, I think, best for them, rather than focusing on the paddlers.
So what happens next? We know that the race will still happen. It has been finalized, the ending location. Are you guys going to take part?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard, you know, like, to back off. I mean, like, we've been preparing since October, November, so it's hard for us to just, like, decide on we won't race, you know, but we do have a point that we want to prove for that day of La Ruta Maya, that last stage, you know. We do have a point that we want to prove.
What point will you guys prove?
Well,
you're not going to reveal.
We're not going to reveal.
It sounds like you have
maybe a secret per se, but we need to go back to our membership to see what they would suggest for us to do. Because, like I said, we have somebody to answer to. The Ruta Maya committee is self-appointed and they pick who they want. We have asked to be on it, and in exchange, we have offered them to be on our committee so that there is more of a togetherness, which has always been refused. We have offered them to sanction their race, which would make it much safer as well, which they have refused. So we will check with our paddlers, we will check with our membership, and if the membership would like to make a statement, there is many ways you can make a statement. Like Mr. Linares rightfully said, at this point in time, and I think that was a strategy. It was a strategy to talk about this very late, because at this point in time, teams start to look for sponsorship in October, November. They started training in November, December. Now we're 2 weeks away from the race. Our company has spent the majority of the funds we had budgeted for this race already. It's only the actual race now left. So we don't have the option of backing out.
Yeah.
And neither have the paddlers, because they have given their sponsors the commitment, we're going to do the best we can for you. So all this to me was strategic, to just push something down the throat of the paddlers and the sponsors and the fans. And no matter what you do, you can't change it. And if you like the race, you'll still show up. Well, believe me, I don't think they'll have half the amount of fans at the Grand Resort that they normally have here at the city center.
Mr. Garcia, what would you say is necessary to be implemented to keep the heart of the race as originally intended, but also ensure that the financial and the marketing demands of today's time is met? Was those sort of things considered in the initial planning phase? I mean, it's so many years ago.
Yes, we looked at that, but the focus was mainly for the sponsorship involvement, which is correct, and then also but the community involvement. How can communities benefit out of the event itself? How can we go back to it is to bring back the communities to depict the history and the culture of the river, to bring that up, to discuss how important the Belize River is and has been, is and will be for the country of Belize. And I think by understanding that importance, people will put more effort in protecting and taking care of our waterways.
Okay. So we have some comments from our Facebook viewers, as well as some commentary that we received yesterday. We did a poll on our Open Your Eyes. Okay, so this is Facebook Live comments. So we have Mr. Marco Acevedo saying, what is disappointing, and this is to the Canoe Association, is the Canoe Association is trying to co-opt a race that they have no input in and dragging paddlers along with them. How do you respond, Mr. Penner?
First of all, I will discredit anything that this gentleman posts. He did probably 15 of the pro changing posts, And he got very personal with me. So I'll discredit anything he says.
Okay.
He is just here trying to ride Love FM's back, I believe. So I have zero respect for that person.
Okay, so
The
you're
minute
familiar with the
I'm
name
familiar
and
with the person.
commenter.
Well, we
All
have
right,
one here, I
Cancer
believe it's
responding.
Bella Mulling saying, I feel
like
they will
they'll
keep on paddling until they get to the bridge. That would be diabolical.
Okay.
I won't respond to that
Yes.
because that is a question we're going to pose to our paddlers on Saturday.
As to what
Love
would be the
FM
way forward.
and the Ruta Maya committee
So, tell me-
really put
tell me-
their last nail in their coffin with this one, according to my
tell me
opinion.
we have more comments?
No, we had a multiple from Mark Acevedo, and that's about it.
Yeah. For you, is the safety concern real as well, where the tides and the estuary is concerned?
It can be of extreme concern. I did look at the tides, the time of the low tides and high tides during the normal time of the finishing of the race. There may not be a major tide change, so that might save some hazard. But I think you guys also posted a video or showed a video with how the current was when you were there. That is not a nice current to be
And that
playing
was
with.
in the morning. That was like 11 in the morning.
Because this water there's undercurrents, there's surface currents. Then if it gets windy, there's huge waves. It will become, not just finishing the race there will become a hazard, because I've never yet seen them have sufficient safety boats, especially at the finishing line, where it all finishes in nice calm water here, for them to be able to attend to one or two teams flipping at the same time. Recently, I think somebody drowned there, having fallen off of a jet ski and couldn't manage to swim in that current. It is extremely dangerous at certain times of the day. We might get lucky and have a glass water like we had this morning when we came in. It was really nice. But the other concern and the bigger concern could very well be the traffic. Space to park. They'll have to park all along the northern or the Philip Goulston Highway, almost from the airport to Bliss City, for them to get enough space.
Mr. Garcia, I just want to bring you back into the conversation once again. As one of the founding members, what would you suggest can be done to reignite that sort of passion and intent that was originally planned for this race?
Well, we need to pretty much go back and start doing and getting the research done on or dusting out the books that we have on the history, culture, environment of the river, bringing it up on the coverage of the race, and then after depicting the environmental impacts, to look at which groups would be willing to target those areas, which groups would be willing to part join. I mean, the Ruta Maya was very essential in bringing the River Keepers program to light to Belize. Unfortunately, we lost it 3 years after because it had no impact as what the River Keeper program demanded. So there are ways we can use the race, or how the race can support the environment. So it's both ways, and the Ruta Maya was not meant to be a 4 days event. The Ruta Maya was meant to be an all year round river promotion, looking at the impacts of the river, and that's what we tried to do at the beginning, and of course, I think it was at the 6th, 7th year, it started dying out, and it started just becoming a race.
And at this point, we are at this juncture where we ask what's next again. We know that the race is coming up, but we do have to wind down this conversation. For you, Mr. Linares, this will be your 14th year of paddling in the River Challenge. What would you hope the legacy to be?
Well, I just hope, you know, like the next time, like if they're gonna do a decision like this, like they should like prepare like ahead of time and don't do like a last minute decision. Like I've raced internationally and like in Texas Water Safari, Michigan, and like they like right after the race is over, like you start to prepare yourself like to make it better for the next year, you know. And they include the paddlers, you know. They focus a lot on the paddlers. Like they just don't do like their own decision, you know. Yeah.
All right, well, gentlemen, we are out of time. We hope that we were able to one, provide our viewers with a better understanding of the reaction from different sides concerning the route change, also understanding why the route changed in general, and of course what they can expect come that day for that particular ending point. We wish you guys all the best.
Thank you very much. If I could say one more thing, or probably we're off already, but
no, go ahead.
The safety is a great concern, but there is a lot of other ways that they could change certain things by listening to the paddlers to make the race be what it used to be. We no longer have a lot of young persons joining the race. They're not encouraged to jump in because it's not about them anymore. So we're struggling to get female paddlers to represent Bliss internationally. We're struggling to get junior paddlers to get Bliss internationally. So there's many ways they could interact with the paddlers and the sponsors, but their thing has always just been their own entity and those who support them the most. The sponsors of the actual teams that spend big money in the teams, they are now being encouraged to sponsor the broadcasts. Instead of spending the $25,000 or $15,000 in the team, okay, give us $5,000 for the broadcast and your name will ring over that weekend. That's $5,000 or a whole sponsorship they took away from a team. If you look at PAC, Niche, Bliss Bank, Scotia Bank, Atlantic Bank, Pine Lumber, Big H Juice, all of these have come out of the sponsorship of the race and the teams. They used to be the ones that had the best teams. Why? Because the focus has shifted on the broadcasting of the race instead of making the race better. And that is something that I think is vital that they change. Some focus has to be put on back to the sponsors and the paddlers so they get some recognition and some name branding instead of just name branding the persons that give you cash that can keep your company afloat.
All right, well, thank you so much, Mr. Penner, Mr. Garcia, Mr. Linares. We do appreciate you all coming on set and sharing some of your concerns publicly more extensively than we do in the newscast, and so we appreciate that. With that, we're going to take another break, and when we come back, we're going to be celebrating legacy with the Baron Bliss Harbour Regatta.
Tech Systems understand that technology isn't just a tool, it's a game changer. At home, smart devices and AI are revolutionizing daily life. In education, tech is making learning more interactive and accessible for students and educators alike. For businesses and government, it's driving innovation, streamlining operations, and unlocking growth, leveraging tech for better services, infrastructure, and security. At Full Tech Systems, we help you thrive with cutting-edge solutions, partnering with leaders like Dell, HP, Microsoft, APC, Fortinet, Cisco, and 𝐁𝐚𝐫𝐸. We deliver the right products for your needs, whether it's boosting efficiency, improving customer engagement, or scaling operations. Connect with us and let's drive innovation together. Full Tech Systems, your technology center, where you come for the price, but stay for the service.
GBM is turning the spotlight home. All Belizean, all day, every day. We're bringing to you more local and regional programs than ever before. Relive the classics you love. Plus, enjoy brand new stories that celebrates who we are, our people, our pride, our Belize. So whether you're at home, in the office, or on the go, keep GBM on, because now more than ever, Belize is on TV.
Because the public has a right to know. And once the public has a right to know, journalists have a duty to tell.
The public has a right to know how much money 𝐁𝐥𝐻𝐿𝐵 station raked in from government advertising under the UDP administration. So we have a duty to tell. That figure went from 25,000 in 2008 to 195,000 in 2010 to 230,000 in 2011 to 269,000 in 2012 to 296,000 in 2013, 256,000 in 2014, 130,000 in 2015, 165,000 in 2016, 168,000 in 2017, 149,000 in 2018, and 186,000 in 2019, a total of more than 2 million in 10 years. Under the new administration since 2020, the figure went down to a reasonable 37,000. Is this why Jules is so enraged and losing his temper these days? It's all adding up.
Haven't updated your information recently? Well, kick off the new year as a winner. RF&G Insurance is giving you a free chance to win every month. Entering is easy. Just chat with us on WhatsApp and update your information. That's it. You'll be automatically entered into our monthly raffle for a chance to win awesome prizes. Don't wait. Message us on WhatsApp and update your info today. RF&G Insurance. It pays to get it right.
Back to Open Your Eyes. This is our second conversation, and still on the topic of waters. We are jumping into our second conversation, but this one is a celebration of legacy, and it's all about the Baron Bliss Harbour Regatta. I understand this, when we say legacy, Paul, we're talking almost 100 years of legacy.
No, a lot of years.
But to help us break it down and understand the significance even more this morning is we have here with us Roberto Pott. He is the vice chair of the Baron Bliss Harbour Regatta. Also joining us, no stranger to you guys, but in a different capacity this morning, is Miss Beverly Coleman. She's one of the committee members of the Baron Bliss Harbour Regatta. Guys, thank you so much for joining us, and welcome.
Welcome.
Thanks for having us.
A pleasure.
Welcome. Thank you.
Now, 97 years, it's quite a long time.
Yes.
And I imagine there has been several changes since then, since we're talking about some of those changes just earlier for different races. But this is a big deal. I know that the Baron Bliss Harbour Regatta brings out its own fans as well, for people who have enjoyed watching. I know there are some persons who also participate. But for people who might have been living under a rock and still don't understand the significance of this initiative, what is the Baron Bliss Harbour Regatta?
Well, it's been around since 1927. Baron Bliss came here, fell in love with Belize, saw the sailing boats in the harbour, and decided to sponsor the first race. And that there is the Baron Bliss Trust that has a long-going support for the regatta. It's a small contribution, but it's gone through its growth phases over the years. I mean, there was a big challenge when we were even thinking of bringing in fiberglass boats. And again, the spirit of the Harbour Regatta is to make it something, a local grown, built out of local materials. And so even bringing in fiberglass boats was going against the tradition.
Yeah.
And so that's part of what helps us to stay focused. We knew we had to do the fiberglass boats when we brought in some small boats. It's an Optimist class, they call it, a small boat for youth sailing. But that was part of trying to expand sailing. The Harbour Regatta helped to form the first Belize Sailing Association. And so that's been the growth over the years. And we've had some very successful years, heydays. Beverly is sailing royalty.
Yeah.
How important is maintaining tradition in a race that's or an event that's so long-standing? And when you speak about tradition, is there room for modernization in tradition?
For sure. I mean, and that's been our tagline, sailing into the future. There's some basics. I mean, there's some basics to sailing. Once you learn to sail a small boat, you can scale up to a bigger boat. And some of our, even me, I've taken up a career in marine conservation just coming out of sailing. I came out of the Sir George Brown sailing camp. We used to have sailing camps. We used to have some serious fights on the seaside after a race. But we learned how to work through our differences. And again, a lot of those were traditional wooden boats, sailing sloops, sailing dories, kindola. There's a huge tradition, and that's one of the things that we want to try and foster. Colette Boner's here is the chair, and he has a big tent approach, and that's what I think brought us back into the Harbour Regatta Committee, because we want to foster that community spirit.
As we see on screen right now, just some pictures of perhaps persons that have participated in the Baron Bliss Harbour Regatta. But for me, what strikes immediately is the differences in boats, right? For us, I am exposed to the canoe. You know, I come from a village. I say dory, you know. But when I think of sailing, it's kind of like I don't even think I've ever seen someone sail before, even been on a sailboat before.
Oh,
you mentioned, right? You mentioned Miss Beverly being sailing royalty, and I have to ask, what got you into this as well, and how does it differ from navigating a dory, which I might have been in?
Roberto likes to say that I'm sailing royalty, but I am not up with the technical aspects of sailing. How I became involved is that my dad became a member of this committee way back in 1972. And every year for the Harbour Regatta, I used to accompany him to the races. So I actually grew up with the Baron Bliss Harbour Regatta. And I like to joke and say whether I wanted to go or not, I had to go to Harbour Regatta. So it became a passion of mine. And over the years, after I became an adult and started working, and in the profession that I work, not every year I'm able to be off for March 9th. And so my daughter started going with my dad to the races, but my dad served on this committee for a very, very long time. And we used to always tease him because, as Roberto was talking about earlier, the growing pains of going through the growing pains. So sometimes he would come home from meetings and from the races and be frustrated, and he would say, "This is the last year." And only for the following year to be right back in it again, you know. So that is how I grew up, and so Harbour Regatta has always held a special place in my heart, and I'm happy now that I can actually be a part of the committee and contribute in some way, shape, or form.
After 97 years, for me, it's good to hear that you all have gone through the growing pains. And that you've survived it. I think it's a testament for a lot of traditional events and activities across the country that perhaps are going through some storms and some rough waves, if you would, or rough periods. To see that you all have survived this long, I think is a testament. What will this year's event look like?
This year, we are overjoyed to say that the Belize City Council is giving us their 100% support, and they will be having a Harbour Regatta Festival the same at the same time that the regatta is taking place, and it will be in the same venue along Seashore Drive in the Buttonwood Bay area. And so that collaboration with the City Council, we are so thankful for. And so this year, we will have the races for the regatta, but we will also have the Belize City Council's Harbour Regatta Festival.
Which will bring out even more people to understand the significance of this race. I want to go back to understanding sailing, though, because for me, I've never witnessed that. Mr. Pot, were you an active participant in this competition in the past?
Yes.
Tell me about what it was like for you back then.
Well,
Or are you still sailing now?
Back then, like the man up way back.
Well,
Tell me about way back then, man.
Tell me about
Well, the funny story I have is that when I got recruited in, all Mr. Brown wanted was a lightweight person that he could use as life ballast, and then one natural bailer too.
So the man use you.
All I need to do a bail.
How you become naturally a bailer?
You just have to
dip out the water.
Dip and not throw away the bailer. And it was great to see the various pictures of the boat, the sailing dories, the sailing lighters, and again, the organizers for the event, the Bliss Harbour Regatta Committee, has been focused on trying to make it a sustainable event, both by making it family friendly, spectator friendly. We've had our internal risks because we wanted to bring the race closer to the shore, and 𝐁𝐚𝐫𝐸 insisted that we make this visible to the spectators, because we used to have it out by Harbour, out by Memorial Park, out by Fort George, and the boats are way out there. You have to have binoculars. You have to be really tuned into the race. But now that we brought it into Buttonwood Bay, you can see the boats right from the shore, and somebody will be there to explain. We're hoping to have a PA system so that you understand the dynamics of the race. There's a lot of things that we have to give credit to the clubs. There are two outstanding clubs, Corozal Bay Sailing Club and Placencia Sailing Club. And there's a lot of things that helps to make this sustainable, because we've always invested back into the clubs. Our event maybe runs $10,000 for the whole event.
Wow.
And a lot of the prizes are invested back, sails, equipment for the sailors, but the clubs have to carry this for the rest of the year, because this is one event out of the calendar of events.
The March wind helps, I would imagine, along with some strategy, some sailing strategy, correct? Because at the end of the day, this is a race.
Yes. And it's very, very competitive.
Yeah, we're looking at on the screen some
very, very competitive. And what I enjoy seeing is to see female sailors out there. You know, it is awesome to see these young people engaging in healthy competition.
If I could have a swimmer, I want to do it.
You don't have to learn how to
just put on a life vest.
Because we recruit people at least because I also had the Belize Scouts, and we recruit people from 11 years up. It doesn't matter your gender, and Bev makes a good point. Almost everybody's on equal footing. We wanted to make it what we call a match racing, so it's your skill. It's not the investment in the boat or the type of equipment, because we had big confrontations because people will spend on more boats, more expensive boats and equipment.
But about skills.
It's all about your skills, and again, the community spirit, sportsmanship.
This is so exciting.
Yeah. Right? I know, right?
And we're launching, one of the other big announcements for us is that we are launching the Mike Usher Memorial Trophy.
Wow.
He's the father of former Brigadier General Alan Usher, who was a sailing fan, spends a lot of time in Gales Point, or spent a lot of time in Gales Point, and people who enjoyed the seafront. And I think that's what we want to, again, foster. It's great that we have that canoe race, because we need more people. And I share the spirit of Luis Garcia. Part of my reason for being involved is that we want people to be conscious or connected with their environment. And we have a lot of communities that live on the coast. And so it's important for the next generation, move away from your device, at least for your Sunday sailing, and come out and reconnect.
All right, so I know you're inviting people out. Is there an opportunity also for more participants to join? How does that work? Anything else you'd like to share?
More participants for the
race.
Well, races are geared towards the sailing clubs.
Yeah, the clubs.
Yes,
right.
so
they're fully aware.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
This is something that we take very seriously.
Okay,
and
good. So Sabrina can just bring out the canoe and say,
already. Well, we have that open.
Okay.
Yeah, if you show up with a sail and a boat, you sail. You come out.
Yes.
It'll be an exhibition sail because you don't have any competition. And some of us have one-man sail races, but there won't be any prizes for those.
And that is one of the things that the Baron Bliss Harbour Regatta Committee prides itself on, is that the regatta is an opportunity to celebrate the seamanship and boating skills. And as Roberta keeps on saying, it's that community spirit and that it's family involvement and that is what we try to foster in the Harbour Regatta races.
Excellent.
You know, and these sailors come and they come with their family, they come with their teams, and it's amazing to see how these young people, how they work together, they help each other, and then you look at it and then you wonder at what point when we become adults do we become so, you know, confrontational and because
divided.
You know, and when you look at the young kids, people, you know, it is really heartwarming to see this, you know.
Well, I'll be in the city for that long weekend this year, so I mean, you all have built excitement in me to attend, and it's even more exciting that there's actually a festival along with the race, and so I think that's a really good thing. And the final thoughts and something you may have looked over that you want to make sure the viewers know?
Well, I would like if you would give me the opportunity to thank our sponsors. Yes, the Baron Bliss Harbour Regatta is held under the patronage of the Governor General of Belize, who is the patron of the Baron Bliss Trust, the Government of Belize, Belize Tourism Board, Ministry of Education, Culture, Science and Technology, the Inter-American Development Bank, Bowen and Bowen, Mayors United, Tad Loyalty, Alpine Water, Joseph and Taylor Limited, Belize Port Authority, Belize Coast Guard, and of course we can't thank the Belize City Council enough for partnering with us this year.
Excellent.
Fantastic. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us, and we wish you guys all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you, and we look forward to seeing you.
Yeah, hopefully I can
March
try.
8th, yes.
Maybe we could get you in a boat at some point.
Yeah, at some point. All right. Well, we're going to take another quick break, but don't go anywhere. Our next conversation is staying connected with Smart's Trio Phone Plan.
The Public Utilities Commission advises the public that it has conducted a comprehensive review of market conditions in the telecommunications sector, and as part of this process has prepared an initial determination outlining the preliminary findings on whether any licensee may hold a position of market dominance in accordance with Section 42 of the Belize Telecommunications Act. This assessment is evidence-based and forward-looking and is intended to safeguard consumers and other users of telecommunications services by identifying where competitive limitations may be scarce to prevent risks such as excessive pricing, reduced service quality, limited choices, and unfair treatment. In conducting this assessment, the PUC reviewed regional and international regulatory approaches to guide localized assessment under Belize's legislative framework. The initial determination identifies the relevant telecommunication markets as follows. Retail markets include services supplied directly to end users, including fixed, mobile, and bundled offerings. Wholesale markets include services and facilities supplied on a non-retail basis provided to other licensees or users under conditions different from standard retail offerings. Additionally, this determination is structured to support informed public engagement and includes 11 consultation questions to obtain stakeholder feedback. The document on public consultation, Initial Determination on Market Dominance, can be viewed in its entirety at www.puc.bz. The PUC invites written comments from all interested parties, including licensees, consumers, consumer representatives, and the general public. Comments should be submitted to info@puc.bz by 4 p.m. on March 2nd, 2026, and include in the subject line, Comments, Initial Determination on Market Dominance.
Finally, a postpaid plan for 3 people. Introducing Smart Trio. Why pay for mobile service alone when you can share and save? Get unlimited national calls, text, plus 100 gigabytes of shared data. And the best part? It's only $135. That's right, as low as $45 per person. Perfect for small families, couples, or close friends. Smart Trio. 3 lines, 1 smart choice. Sign up now and you could win a Trio getaway to San Pedro for 3. Visit us at www.smart-bz.com for more information or sign up at any showroom today. Smart, bringing people together.
Unwrap the joy of crystal clear picture and sound from Iowa, the brand that offers you affordability and exceptional quality. Iowa has a wide range of exceptional products to choose from, such as TVs, speakers, headphones, home appliances, and much more at affordable prices that won't break the bank. Enhance your audio-visual entertainment experience with Iowa, and for your convenience, parts are readily available in country for hassle-free maintenance. You can find Iowa products at your local electronics store countrywide. Choose Iowa, the best in home entertainment and household appliances.
Welcome back. We are moving things along into our next conversation, staying connected with Smart's Trio phone plan. And we are joined by 2 representatives. We have here with us PR and Communications Officer Karina Canto, and also joining us is Product Development Manager Jessica Jones. Ladies, thank you so much for joining us and welcome.
Welcome.
Thank you for having us.
All right, so Trio phone plan coming from Smart, as you guys also saw on screen just about a few seconds ago, the ad explaining what you will be getting. But just to give you even more details, we have these ladies answering some of those questions as well. I'm a part of a postpaid phone plan, so I know the benefits of that. But for a lot of people, they try to join our group plan, right?
Correct.
You know, they'd say that it's cheaper as well.
Correct. Yeah.
But I don't know that you guys had a 3-person phone plan,
Yes.
right?
So as you rightly say, you know, postpaid is, I like to call it an investment, because majority of the time, you know, you put in credit and you don't realize how much you put in. So we do have our excellent postpaid plans. We have our Share One, whereby you have to have like 5 people, but then, you know, like just listening to our customers, you know, we realize that there are a lot of smaller groups of people that would want to have a postpaid plan, but it might be a challenge, you know, to round up 5 people, you know. And then you notice you have a lot of small families, a lot of small groups of friends. So we thought, you know what, perfect way to go that, you know, to offer them a plan for those 3 people. So that's whereby the Trio plan, you know, come into place, whereby it's you get 3 lines, but it's just 1 bill, and it actually works out to like 45 Belize per person a month, and you get 100 gigs of shared LTE data, and you get unlimited SMS and national minutes. So it's a really nice package for, you know, that smaller group of people, whereby you still get the advantage of having the postpaid plan without having to say, you know, now have to get 2 additional people to have a Share One plan. We do have some excellent other options for people who don't want to do postpaid, which gives you the freedom. Jessica will go into that, but we just want to highlight it, our Trio, and then because it's a new promotion, we are also highlighting if you do sign up, you get the opportunity to win a fabulous getaway for your trio.
Wow.
So it's the opportunity, you know, to grab your two besties, you know, your family, your mom, your dad, and you get a getaway to San Pedro, and you get $500 cash. You get a snorkel trip for 3. So it's really just hotel accommodations.
What set of 500 just for spend?
Just for
spending cash.
Yes, so you just have to get your 2 people, and then you're off into a fabulous getaway for San Pedro. So this is the perfect time to actually, you know, sign up for the trio plan if you are not fully aware of the advantages. You know, we have our 11 showrooms across the country. We have our toll-free number 1090 where you can, you know, call in and just get additional feedback. And it's easy to sign up. You just need a recent bill and your ID, and then the deposit for the month for the trio plan. But like I said, it's perfect for smaller families, group of friends, and it just really all just works out to be an encompassing, you know, like opportunity to have that postpaid plan without, like I said, without having to look for, you know,
5 members.
5 members.
Yeah, for sure. What's remind us again what you're getting in the package? You said 100
you get 100 gigs of
shared
shared LTE data, and you also get unlimited SMS and national minutes.
SMS and national minutes. So no worry about making calls or your credit finishing, or text message finishing. All right, and international calls?
International calls works by whereby you get
international rates would apply.
International rates would apply on your bill as you pay.
Correct.
Okay.
All right, well, let's go over to Ms. Jones. As a product development manager, you mentioned that Ms. Canto mentioned that there was other features and other things that you guys are also launching.
So we've recently launched our prepaid plan. So for our customers that don't necessarily want to commit to a postpaid plan, we're offering our prepaid plan. So it's so it's a prepaid plan. You paid for the entire month, so it's valid for 30 days. We have three tiers basically. So we have the core, edge, and the core, edge, and the larger package. It offers data as well as social media data as well.
So it's a prepaid plan that someone leave it like a postpaid plan, but you're
with no commitment.
Okay, you have to break it down and leave it for me.
So you basically pay for it each month. You purchase it each month.
So then it's not like you're
like a bill. Like
you're not billed for it.
Okay. So you could buy it if you want.
This one.
I feel postpaid.
No,
but you don't have that commitment.
It is a postpaid plan. You basically get the same allowance as a postpaid plan, but just that you're not committed. You're not tied to a postpaid plan. Each month you have the option to purchase it or not.
Yeah, so I can decide if I want to buy it this month and next month I send another plan.
You just buy regular credit.
Yeah, just buy regular credit next month. Something like that.
So it gives you the flexibility to whether you want to do the package this month or next month. You said, you know what, maybe I'm not seeing the money and I'm just gonna pay as I go, purchase credit as the month goes along.
So what's the tiers? Tell us about the pricing and the different tiers. Do you have them on you?
Yes.
So we have the core, which starts at $35, and then we have the edge, which takes you up to $60, and then the prime, which is $90.
What you get for them there?
For the core, let's go with the core.
The core, you would get about 5 gigabytes of regular data and 3 gigabytes of social media data, and then you get 150 national minutes and 200 SMS.
And that
$35, including tax. So that's all you pay.
Nice. And then the next one now, we can go through there.
The 60 tier, the edge, we're looking at 15 gigabytes of data and 5 additional social media. So you're looking at 20 gigs of data. And then you have unlimited call and SMS and 60 off-net minutes.
How does purchasing these ones work? Whereas postpaid, you're going to the office and you get that set up and you're billing and stuff. With the prepaid one, how do you go about purchasing?
So there's basically no signing up for this. As long as you have the credit on your device, or you could go to one of our top-up agents and you purchase the package directly.
So we've come a long way from the $2 data and the elite $2 plan to now
Yeah,
you know, $35, you get a full package, etc.
And then you spoke of the largest package. What was the largest package?
The Prime. The Prime is $90, and all of these packages run for the 30 days, which is a month basically. The Prime, we're looking at 40 gigabytes of data and 10 social media data, and then unlimited everything, calls and SMS.
I like that one.
Yes. For $90,
you can't beat that. Yeah.
Why do you think somebody would who do you think would be interested in something like this, like a package or a plan like that?
Well, we have what we call like our hybrid customers. You know, like these are ideally for our customers like that you're kind of you're a hybrid, you're switching, alternating between prepaid and postpaid.
Okay.
So 1 month you want to do you are a prepaid customer, yes, right? But 1 month you want to do this plan, the next month you want to do maybe just buy your credit and go. So I think it appeals to a lot of our prepaid customers that don't necessarily want that commitment to say, okay, next month the bill is coming and I might not have the funds, so yeah. So I think it's.
I'm also thinking, for example, I might have somebody traveling in that's going to spend the month.
Yeah, of course.
And I want to give them a plan without committing to something long term. I'm also thinking that I might be a prepaid customer, but I know this month I'm usually with Wi-Fi, but this month I'll be super busy traveling.
Yes.
And so I need a plan, but nothing long term. And this is another good option. So it just has me thinking, so I really like it.
All right. Well, as we wind down this conversation, once more, I want to remind the viewers of how they can get access to the postpaid plan and the prepaid plan as well.
Well, for the prepaid packages, like Jessica mentioned, they can purchase it using the short code, using their prepaid credit, the trio plan. They can visit any of our 11 showrooms. And we also have the added smart care portal where you can manage these postpaid plans. You can pay your bill online, do things in real time. So that's an added feature that we have now with our smart care portal. So head over to our smart website, and then you'll see all of these active features, and will gives you like a rundown of how to you can buy credit and all of those wonderful things. So just keep on the lookout for come in, sign up for your trio plan, perfect for your small family, your small group of friends, and like we mentioned, you get the opportunity to win a fabulous getaway to San Pedro to just unwind and your trio. So
I need that
that's
right
good.
now,
yes,
man.
we need that right now.
I need that.
You need that. All right. Well, ladies, thank you so much for joining us, and we wish you guys all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we take our final break, but don't go anywhere. We have one more conversation to look forward to when we come back. OW Ballaz take Belizean basketball talent to Mexico.
Man, that's me. My data done, and I really need to get my order out today.
Really? Well, you can join our smart group plan.
Really? How that work?
Easy, let me tell you.
Whether it's family, friends, or your small business, we've got the perfect plan for every group. More members equals more savings, more connections. Smart group plans bring the connectivity you love to you and your circle. No one gets left behind. Explore Share One package option and add on unlimited data, calls, and SMS for the entire group for less than $50 per member. Visit any Smart showroom countrywide or email sales@speednet-wireless.com to sign up today. Smart, bringing people together.
Have a vision? We've got what you need. From idea to install. Brothers Habet. All your building needs under one roof.
𝐁𝐚𝐫𝐬𝐬 Hospital, located in Cancun, Mexico's premier tourism destination, is a state-of-the-art healthcare facility that provides highly specialized medical services. We are Quintana Roo's biggest private hospital with board-certified doctors and staff. Some of our services include cath lab, adult intensive care unit, neonatal intensive care unit, emergency rooms, operating theaters, ambulance services, and more. We are a medically accredited hospital by JCI, Accreditation Canada International, and General Health Council, providing extraordinary care in every specialty, from our cardiology department to our neurology center. We are focused on treating the entire person, body, mind, and spirit. Contact us at medicaltourism@hospitalgalenia.com or visit our website at www.hospitalgalenia.com. Come to 𝐁𝐴Lenia Hospital in Cancun for a truly personal medical care experience.
The future is calling. Belize Bank. Your future, our commitment.
Finally, a postpaid plan for 3 people. Introducing Smart Trio. Why pay for mobile service alone when you can share and save? Get unlimited national calls, texts, plus 100 gigabytes of shared data. And the best part? It's only $135. That's right, as low as $45 per person. Perfect for small families, couples, or close friends. Smart Trio, 3 lines, 1 smart choice. Sign up now and you could win a Trio getaway to San Pedro for 3. Visit us at www.smart-bz.com for more information or sign up at any showroom today. Smart, bringing people together.
I crossed borders in Central America, searching for the stories behind the places we think we know. I'm Sabrina Daly, traveling as a Belizean, curious about the culture, the people, and the experiences that make each destination stand out. From the spirited landscapes of Honduras to the evolving heartbeat of El Salvador. This journey explores what it really feels like to travel our region. This is Across Borders.
The future is calling. Belize Bank. Your future, our commitment.
Welcome back. This is our final conversation for this morning. It's all about the Brotherhood Ballers. And we have joining us on set founder and coach of the Brotherhood Ballers, none other than Mr. 𝐁𝐥𝐢𝐬𝐬. He's no stranger to this set. Welcome back, my brother.
Welcome back.
And he's brought a young point guard with him, under 13 point guard, 𝐁𝐚𝐫𝐬𝐬.
Good morning.
Good morning. Mr. 𝐁𝐚𝐫𝐬𝐬, how are you doing this morning?
Good.
You're good?
Yes.
All right then. Well, Mr. 𝐁𝐚𝐫𝐬𝐬, we're here to talk about a planned trip to Mexico to compete in one of the larger tournaments against other countries. Speak to us a bit, give us some details into what this tournament is and when it's being hosted.
Well, the tournament is it's called the Governor Cup, and it will be held in the Yucatan Peninsula, no, in Merida. We will be leaving the 6th of April from Orange Walk, no. The tournament is from the 7th to the 10th, but they have invited us to be there from the day before, no, so that we can be there present for ceremonies and stuff. It is a very huge tournament. It involves 9 different countries. And it's a great opportunity to have our basketball club make it out there, no? As well. They have seen the work we are putting in so far, and they have provided us with that opportunity to be a part of the tournament, no?
How did you guys get this invitation to participate in the tournament?
Well, it was sent to us. It was sent to me from one of the representatives from the Basketball Association from Merida.
Oh, so they would have had to like see maybe some of your performances, get the
They
stats from your team.
They follow our Facebook page also, and this tournament was to happen from October, but they changed it due to the venue, no? And they actually had less countries. Now they have more countries that has entered, no?
You all have participated in events in Mexico before, though, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We have went to at least 5 different tournaments.
I remember because most of the times when you come on here to talk, you're preparing to go out, right, for a trip. And how has your basketball club grown over the years?
Well, I would say it has grown immensely because we actually now have players from Belize City. We have players from different parts of the country that I guess fell in love with our program, no? And well, our program is welcome to anybody. You don't have to live in Orange Walk. Once you have time to make at least 2 times out of the week to come and train with us, that's all we ask, no? So that we can build that chemistry with the team.
And you cater to an age group in particular?
Yes, ma'am. We have under 13 categories. We have under 15, under 18, and females. Because we also have our Sisterhood Ballers basketball club also.
So we have one of those under 13 players. You can see the excitement on his face to speak with us. Talk to us, what got you into playing basketball?
I see my brother in the place so I want to play too.
Okay, so you see your brother play, you may want to play too. You may only want, so you may want to play, then you start to play, right? So how that happened?
Through my school, when them used to chance me, and then coach me teach me a trick, and then I start use it.
What are the trick? What you really do?
Knock it off for the backboard and score.
Boy, like a layup?
No, like knockout. Like the person in back up you, like if they score first, they win and I will be out of the game.
Okay. So you like learn new skills on the court, yeah.
How long did you play basketball now?
4 years.
4 years.
4 years.
And how old are you?
12.
12.
Yeah.
And how long have you been playing with Mr. 𝐁𝐚𝐫𝐫𝐬?
For 3 years.
3 years? Okay.
What do you enjoy about being a part of the brotherhoods? The brotherhood. What do you enjoy about being a part of the brotherhood?
I don't know.
You make lots of friends? You make
I
friends?
make lot of friends.
That one. Give me one next one. You make lots of friends.
I make lot of friends. I learn more skills.
You learn more skills. What would you say it takes to be one champion or a winner in a basketball?
Just work hard.
What does working hard mean? Like what that look
Go
like?
to practice every day, go on time, make sure you have on your shoes and everything.
Yeah, important for got on your shoes, right? Because if you don't got on your shoes and somebody mash your toe, what happen?
Yeah, hurt.
Yeah, hurt, right? So you better you got on your shoes for real.
Now, I know that you guys are still in the fundraising phase of getting things ready for this trip in April. And it costs, you know, to take these kids and to ensure that you have good representation every time. Where are you guys in that part of the fundraising? Are you equipped with everything that you need?
Well, right now, basically, it's our transportation that we're working on.
Okay.
Our transportation is costing us the most, no? Due to where we're taking 5 different categories.
So how many kids would that amount to?
We have 10 for the under 13 and the under 15. Then we have 12 for the under 20 and 12 for the under 17 and 10 for the females. So we're basically 60
people
about 60
in average.
about 60, yes, ma'am.
Okay. So how much do you need?
Well, the boss is charging us 6,800, but he state we are getting that on a deal from the director of the tournament, no? So that bus will be taking us and it will be moving around with us over there at that cost, no?
Okay.
So we won't have to be getting taxi or vans or stuff like that, no?
Yeah.
So for the total duration,
Yes,
that's
that
what it
will
would
be
cost,
with
is
us, yes,
6,000
ma'am.
change.
How can people reach out to you and give their support and donation?
Well, we actually have our we have a bank account, a Brotherhood Ballers bank account. That's the next guy. And I have my phone number that they can personally reach out to me.
What's that?
635 85 56. We are at Orange Walk Uniontown Basketball Court basically every day because we have the different categories that we work with now. So whosoever wants to pass around and see the work that we're doing, they are free to do so. We are at an open basketball court now.
So far, do you have any sponsors, people you'd like to say thank you that have been supporting?
Oh, well, sure. We have the Honorable Ramon Montes Cervantes. He has been one of our, I would say, greatest supporters so far. He always helps, even with the Amadia. He helps us with the PEV. He helps us now. We have BL that has committed to assisting us towards this trip in Merida. We have the central office from Orange Walk that always assists us also. We have a monthly stipend that we get from them to,
I love that.
to help with the equipments and stuff that we need, no? We have German Vega. We have many different places from Orange Walk business that
could
assist us, no?
Yeah, excellent. Well, guys, do you have any final thoughts you'd like to share before we wrap up?
Well, I would just like to say to the community, to everyone watching, this is a initiative that we want to keep going, no? I mean, we have been in it for 4 years, and in the 4 years that we have been doing this, we have seen kids come, we have seen kids go, we have seen kids already left the program and are ending up in bad situations, you know, ending up already in the streets. The same thing that we are trying to avoid, no? That's the meaning of the whole program. So we would just like to ask for people to support. If you have a basketball that you would like to support our club with, we accept it, a bag of water.
Wow.
Because the reality is we don't have the funds to keep up the club the way we want, no? So it's a struggle, but if I give it up, the kids will lose out, no?
Yeah.
The kids will lose out, and where else will they have to go?
All right. Well, want to thank you so much for championing and continuing to champion this sort of causes. I'm sure the kids see you as a role model, and I love how committed you are to fostering growth and good citizenship in them. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much also for having us, no?
Of course, no problem.
And good luck to you, Mr. Young. We hope that you do well when you go to Mexico. All right, well, we do have to close things off now.
Yeah.
It has been a wonderful morning. It is February 24th, and I would like to give a special birthday shout out to my big brother. There's no picture that's going to be shown on screen, but he's been with you guys several times on set. He's celebrating his birthday today, and he's definitely one of my favorite people ever. But to anyone else celebrating a birthday today, happy birthday to you as well. If you'd like to give a birthday shout out, or if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can send us an email at oye@greaterbelize.com.
You can also catch us live on Facebook every weekday morning at Open Your Eyes BZ, or Instagram for all the behind the scenes content at OYE Belize.
You can even call us or text us on our OYE phone number. That's 675-2555. But please do us a favor. Oh, we also have TikTok. Yes, our TikTok handle is openyoureyes.bz. But please do us a favor and join us again tomorrow when you open your eyes.
And start your morning right.
Until then, keep your eyes, your mind,
and your hearts open.
Have a wonderful Tuesday, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
Open Your Eyes was brought to you by the Belize Bank, our country, your bank, and Smart, bringing people together.